Welcome to Mid-Evening Military Report. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Well, this Taiwan situation is a real joke because it's just like if the Chinese army came over to Vancouver and said that they're going to turn Vancouver Island into a new country, which is totally separate from the rest of Canada. It's the same thing that the U.S. is trying to do with their colleagues in Taiwan. It's bullshit. I said this the other day, in a couple of reports, saying it a little differently this time around, but essentially the same thing, well, the U.S. Navy, Air Force, and ground troops do not want to get into a war with China in that region. The U.S. will not be able to win it. China has more firepower on the mainland than they can shake a stick at. The United States Navy will be sunk to the bottom of the Taiwan Strait, the Eastern Sea, Bay of Bohai, South China Sea, wherever. It's not just myself who has pointed out that the whole of mainland China, you may as well look at it as an absolutely massive, like an aircraft carrier. I mean, all of what the U.S. Navy can put in that region to go against China will never be enough to beat China in a war in that region. Navy versus Navy and Air Force and ground troops, etc. Forget it. It's not worth getting into. So better stick to the diplomatics on that one. The burning of the Koran in Sweden. Well, I think that's good news. It's a book that is worth burning. Though, and I know that Christians will not be happy about this, but I will say that the Bible should also be burned at the same time with a Koran. People should do that. Both of these religions have done nothing but cause such massive problems with the human race. The truth is, the human race doesn't need any religions. It doesn't matter which ones they are. And human beings wake up every day naturally, without any need for being religious, because human beings have it within themselves to always want to look forward to having a good day, positive and constructive, and nobody needs religion to teach that to them, right? And human beings will always fight and compete with each other, whether there's religion or not. I'm just saying it's better to not have religion. It's better to not have human beings' minds steeped in religion. There is no need to be religious in order to be a good person. And there is no such thing as Jesus or Muhammad or any other gods saving your souls after life in this world. It is true that we do exist after life in this world, but it's not exactly as our religions present it to us. And some of them come fairly close to the truth, but they're still tinged with too much religiosity and dogma. Nobody needs religiosity, religion, or dogma. Just science. That's it. Science always proves what is and what is not. It's the only thing that matters. Science. Always remember that. Everything else is bullshit. Only science tells the truth. And yes, research has been done for decades, and it already has been proven that yes, we exist outside of these bodies that we're in this world as well. It's been proven on the submolecular level. And it's also been proven that there is no Jesus that takes your hand at the end of this life and takes you to some heaven, and there's no Allah or Muhammad. Even people on the other side don't see any evidence of any God of any sort, gods or whatever. So gods and goddesses are all convenient and sometimes, interesting and entertaining representations really of ourselves. A beautiful girl we term as a goddess, right? And yeah, it's a nice thing. But does any overarching goddess or god actually exist? The answer is no. No. But we do. I can talk to you. You can talk to me. You ever seen any god step out from behind a tree in a park and say, "Hi, how are you doing? I'd like to introduce myself." Yeah, I don't show up very often, but here I am. Yeah. You ever experienced that? Of course not. You know why? Because they don't exist. That's why. The psychology of architecture is what keeps people, it's one of the things that keeps people addicted to religion. You walk in and there's this massive, capacious ceiling over you. You're a small, tiny human being, and you look up at the gaping ceiling, and as the construction workers who were paid by the psychologists who hired the architects to build these churches and temples, they know the reaction you're going to get, which is, yeah, wow, look at this place. There must be a God. No, it's just the work of Italian, Greek, and Middle Eastern construction workers following the directives of social psychologists, who are working with architects paid by your governments and the wealthy who would like to keep you down with religion. And religion's really an attempt to try and keep your aggressive nature tamped down to the max that they can possibly do with you, right? Because they don't want the competition, right? Rich, extremely wealthy people don't want competition, and they especially don't want to be physically confronted when they're hoarding too much from society and people who don't have much, and that's what they fear the most. They don't want people to feel like, they can walk up and physically handle someone who's 2.5 feet tall, who has billions and trillions of dollars. Actually, you can, if it's justified. But religion, with religion stuck in your face, yeah, some people, or most of the population, maybe thinks twice, or maybe not. Even with religion, people who really want to get something go out and get it, and they don't care if some God who doesn't exist is watching them or not, so yeah, just kind of, all right, going on a little bit here. Letting thoughts flow simply like a very nice, gentle, dark flowing stream on a few things. Oh yeah, you could also get into the subject of all the jokers who are into religion just to make money. They don't actually believe in any gods or goddesses either. They want to use pretext of religion to make money from you and everyone else. But they're selling shit. It's not good for the human mind, and it needs to be made illegal, and it's going to be, because that's what world government's going to do. Yep, it's coming up.